Hello everyone and welcome to episode 4 of my top 10 future Mega Evolutions. In our last episodes we covered Dark, Water, and Ghost, so go check them out if you haven't already. So in our last episode I asked what type you would like to see me cover next, and Steel types got the vote. Steel types definitely have become vital for a lot of Pokemon battles to counter the dreaded Fairy type, and I honestly think that they are a little underrated. While most of the Steel types are hard to bring down, given the Megas may be a little bit overkill, but it's still an interesting concept, and if some of our favorites got one, I'm sure we would be excited. I also want to thank you guys for being so patient with me. A new Fusion and a Fakemon video will be coming soon. They were only delayed because I had computer problems that caused me to lose my files, and I raged a little bit because I already have some things done for you. But don't worry, I'm going to get them redone, and eventually you will see them on this channel. So again, thank you for being so patient with me. On screen right now are some fan art that people have submitted to me. They are all beautiful. I love them. All of you are so talented, and I honestly wish that I could showcase a lot more of you. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started with our top 10. Taking our number 10 spot, we have Klinklang. Despite a lot of people hating on its design, it's actually fairly good. Its stats aren't really that bad at all. Its total base stat is 520. It has 100 attack and 115 defense. So its stat distribution is not bad at all. I can openly admit whenever this Pokemon was first revealed, I didn't think it was a Pokemon. I thought it was a prop. But in any case, it does have a really cool animation, and I'm really curious to see what they would do if they actually gave it a Mega. For a Mega Klinklang, they could possibly make it into an electric steel type. It could learn a lot of magnet moves, so I don't see why not. It's not really that good of a competitive battler, and again, I am a noob at this, so correct me if I'm wrong. And I think that if it got the magnet pull ability, if it were to get the electric typing, that would be very interesting. Technician would also be good, and even Levitate. It is a steel type, and it's kind of floating to be completely honest, so given it that Levitate ability will give it a little bit more coverage, and the ground types won't hurt it. But my favorite is Mega Train Klinklang. That would be awesome. Just run people over. You can't lose. Moving on to number 9, we have Ferrothorn. This is a fantastic Pokemon. It is in the OU tier, so a lot of people choose this to be their steel type on their team. It's super bulky, so what else can we do to it? I found this really cool fan evolution concept, and it was drawn by Light Source with X's at the end of their name. It has an attack form and it has a defensive form, and it basically has like a stance change ability, and that would be very cool because Ferrothorn is mostly used as a defensive wall. So if you actually made it into an attacking Ferrothorn, that would be very interesting. I've mentioned this before and I'll probably mention it in the next video, but I love Mega Evolutions that give you a new fighting experience. I like Ferrothorn and I like using it as a defensive Pokemon, but it would be very cool to actually use it in a different way, whether it has a stance change ability or it just turns into an attacker whenever it Mega evolves. I think this concept would be really cool and interesting and bring something new to the battlefield. And also, I wish this thing would learn Spiky Shield. It would be so OP, but that's so cool. It fits. It needs to get that. Spiky Shield plus Rocky Helmet plus Iron Barbs equals death. Moving on to number 8, we have Magnezone. This is another Pokemon that is very good and competitive, and its design is really cool. I thought it was a fantastic step from Magneton, and it's one of my favorite electric types. I may be a little biased with this one considering that I love this Pokemon, and I'm mostly just curious to see what kind of design that they will come up with. A lot of these fan concepts are really interesting, and if we ever get anything like that, that would be something that I would like to see. Another thing that would be interesting is just a Magnezone surrounded by a bunch of other Magnemites. It could use these Magnemites to its advantage. This could either be a special attack boost or mostly just a defensive boost, like they could take the hits for Magnezone or something like that. So of course that would increase its defense stat and probably decrease something else, but that would be very interesting considering they're all magnets, and it would be kind of cool if it just kind of brings them all to it and stuff like that. Moving on to number 7, we have Excadrill. Now that I'm actually going through the list, there's a lot of good Pokemon on here. Excadrill is phenomenal in competitive battling, and its design is really cool. It's a freaking mold with freaking steel on it. That's awesome. But anyway, like Magnezone, this is another one that I'm just curious to see what its design would be. Since it's commonly used as an attacker, maybe it could add on more steel to it to make it more bulky. I don't know. Defense is always good, and having a bulky wall is not a bad thing at all. Its total base stat is 508, HP stat being 110, attack being 135. Those are insanely high numbers, so thinking what they would do if they actually gave Excadrill Mega, it just makes me very excited. This is the perfect Pokemon to protect your fairy. Moving on to number 6, we have Bastiodon. This Pokemon is another bulky one that people tend to use for defensive walls. That makes sense considering that its face is supposed to resemble a castle, so castles have walls. It's a very cool concept, but to see something different would bring a lot of new possibilities if a Mega was a thing. I would like to see this Pokemon as an attacker, so it becomes the knight that protects the castle instead. It can decrease its defense stat to add a little bit more power to its attack. It has the sturdy ability, but since it's so bulky, sometimes it's ineffective. It's kind of pointless. Sometimes it's very hard to one-shot this Pokemon, so possibly a new ability for Mega Bastiodon wouldn't be a bad idea. Maybe Sheer Force or Defiant would be nice. Even Huge Power, I don't really know. But of course you guys are a part of this as well. Since I am sharing my own personal opinions, be sure to put what you think in the comment section below. Taking our number 5 spot, we have Jirachi. Jirachi is insanely adorable and I love this little wish maker. Most of these steel types are seen quite often in competitive battling, but of course its cute little design makes me very happy. A Mega Jirachi would most likely be put in the Ubers, but if it opened its true eye in its Mega form, I'm sure the power would be insane. In the Jirachi movie, it's displayed that it keeps its true eye on its tummy closed because so much power can result from it opening. So that's already a really cool concept for a new Jirachi form. The only thing is its ability. Serene Grace makes this Pokemon fantastic. It's a wonderful ability. But if it has Serene Grace and a Mega, it would probably be overkill. To make it fair, they would probably have to change its ability to something else. Maybe Magic Bounce, because then you could hex all of your opponents and you won't have to worry about them hexing you back. That or Levitate. I don't know. Moving on to number 4, we have Escavalier. Escavalier. Sorry, I really like that name. But anyway, unfortunately, this amazingly designed Pokemon gets forgotten a lot. By me. I love medieval stuff, so if you give me something that slightly resembles the Knights of the Round Table, Game of Thrones, or anything like that, I'll go crazy. It's not a bad battler, but it could be better, and since this Pokemon is based off of a Knight, it could gain the Steel Fighting typing. I don't know, that may be interesting. Bug Steel isn't a bad type at all though. Its only weakness is Fire, but it's still only one weakness compared to a lot of other dual typings that have like 5 weaknesses. That's kind of booty. For an ability, Clear Body would be interesting, so status inflictions wouldn't affect it at all. Justified, Guts, or Intimidate wouldn't be bad choices either. If there was a bug in front of my face wearing armor, I would be pretty intimidated. Stance change wouldn't be bad either, but pretty much anything with a sword, lance, or a shield, anything like that, it reminds me of Aegislash with stance change and all that good stuff. But anyway, its base stat is 495, which is a decent amount. Adding to its defense or attack would be ideal for Escavalier. Moving on to number 3, we have Skarmory. This is yet another fantastic steel type that is great in competitive, but imagining how great a Mega Skarmory would be is still very fun to think about. Skarmory has an amazing design, and I especially love the red coloration whenever it spreads its wings. I love that. That's my favorite part. I know that this is kind of stretching it, but while I was researching Skarmory, I found out that it's based off of a mythological man-eating bird that has poisonous poop. I know that that is very disgusting, and of course having a Pokemon to poop on its enemies would be a very bad addition. But adding poison to its typing would be very interesting. A steel poison type would be very rare, but most of the time dual types have a lot of weaknesses. Skarmory would be a fairy nightmare, and that would be freaking beneficial to competitive play. Just imagining what it may look like would be awesome too. A poisonous armored bird? That's awesome. Taking our number 2 spot, we have Empoleon. Pokemon is in the UU competitive tier, which is underused for those who didn't know, but this thing is based off of Napoleon. It should be in the front lines. This Pokemon is more or less used as a special defensive wall, but it will be nice to actually see it more as an attacker instead, and of course I'm not saying that it can't attack at all, because obviously all of these Pokemon can attack and are very good in competitive, but of course it would be nice to see different things from them. Don't get me wrong, I am a noob at competitive, and Mega Evolutions are fun, but that's not what defines Pokemon at all. A lot of these Pokemon are awesome. Some of these may be your favorites or anything like that, but of course it goes beyond that. I don't know why I just went all sappy for no apparent reason at all. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue. Where am I at? I forgot where I am. Where am I? Oh no, I'm having a crisis right now. I really want all of the starters to receive Mega Evolutions, and I'm sure in the future we may see that, but this is one of my favorite water starters, if not my favorite, to be completely honest. Again, it is a special defensive wall, but a physical tank wouldn't be bad either. Mega Penguins just sound freaking cool to me. That's awesome. Now, before I reveal number 1, please check out the other Mega Evolution videos. Plus, if you are new to my channel, I do other top 10s as well, such as miscellaneous topics, my voice just died, top 10 fusion videos, and Fakemon. I also make music and sing, so you guys should totally subscribe if you haven't already. Also, please leave a like, it helps out a lot more than you think. Anyways, taking our number 1 spot is Durant. Or Durant. However, how you like to pronounce it. Out of all the Pokemon on this list, I really want Durant to receive a Mega. I forget about this thing, and low-key, it's pretty cool, even though I hate ants. If it were to receive a Mega, I would want it to be Fire Steel. Fire ants. Come on, that's awesome. It would be like a mini Heatran, to be honest. A Mega Heatran wouldn't be half bad either. The concepts out there are pretty cool. Anyways, I know that Durant and Heatmor don't get along, but the comeback would be real if Durant got a Mega and made it freaking Fire Steel, because then it wouldn't be able to hurt it that bad. Another origin could be a Durant just survived a Heatmor or something like that, and now it's just on fire all the time. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but it would be interesting. Of course, it doesn't have to be Fire Steel. It could be any type, or it could just stay Steel type. Doesn't really matter, but a boost in this little ant would be great, and I would like to see more of it. Anyways, those are my top 10 Steel type Pokemon that I would like to see with a Mega Evolution. Be sure to subscribe for more and put what type you would like me to cover in the next video. Here are my social links. Please follow me on Instagram, and I'm trying to get 5,000 followers. Of course, all of my links are also in the description below, so if it'll be a lot easier for you to just go down there and click. Follow me on Twitter and all that good stuff. This is what all YouTubers do at the end of their videos, blah blah blah, whatever. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.